As a native Arizonan who was born and raised near the border is not secure, and it has never been secure in my lifetime. The administration could do a much better job and should do a much better job of implementing existing laws. However, the reality is the legal system does need changes.
All right, Kirsten Sinema, now an independent senator, no longer a Democrat, although she'll caucus with the Democrats in the new Congress, saying what's very obvious, particularly to my next guest, that the border is still a mess and getting messier. And in this case, quite literally for Brent Smith, a Texas rancher, has to deal with it pretty much every day. Brent, good to have you. Your ranch encompasses an area that you get quite a few migrants sort of, going right through. Maybe you could tell us.
Hey, Neil. Yeah, my family's been ranching in Kinney County for over 3 generations. And, we're kind of known as the Godaway County because we don't have a port of entry in Kinney County. Ours, Eagle Pass and Del Rio neighbor us on the sides. And, the amount of traffic coming through Kinney County and on the ranches is astronomical. I get stories every day from ranchers because I'm the Kinney County attorney as well.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of the landowners reach out to me and, ask, what can we do? At this point, Neil, Texans feel like the state has surrendered the sovereignty of Texas to the cartels. We don't know what else to do. And I think it's important for your viewers to know there's 2 people that can end this crisis. One, obviously, being Joe Biden, but Governor Abbott is the other one that can do things to secure the border. And each night, Texans are praying that, something happens with the governor to where we get the border secured and we get to live the life that we've been used to for generations. But that's not occurring right now.
What's kind of interesting about your plight, Brent, is we always think of the trouble at the border. You're not directly on the border, but you're next to towns and communities that are, and you get that flow of migrant traffic. Now, the fear is that when Title 42, if it were to go away, and even now the administration is pushing to deal with this until maybe after Christmas, but eventually if it does go away, then what do you fear?
I've had a lot of landowners contact me about Title 42 going away. What are we going to do? This is already a dumpster fire of a mess, and it's going to get worse when Title 42 goes away. We don't know, Neil. We're trying to figure out what can we do. And I've gotten calls from other counties trying to figure out what can we do to help, secure our own county, if not the state. But I just go back to Governor Abbott, we're relying on him to take the actions to secure the border. And
what is he not doing, Brent, that you'd like to see him do?
Well, right now, Neil, we're absorbing everything. We're busing them through the United States. We need to actually prevent them from crossing in the first place. If it's not at a port of entry, Texas can secure its own border under Article 1. And so, it's an emergency type of provision in the Constitution that would allow that.
When you say secure the border, did you mean building a wall or finishing a wall? Because federal authorities then claimed, that the Biden administration claimed as soon as it took office, everything that Donald Trump was doing stopped. And they said it was in their power to stop it. You're saying it's within the governor's power to do whatever he wants.
Well, to a certain degree, he can secure the border to protect Texans. And using Article 1 under the Constitution to do that has nothing to do with immigration. It has everything to do with protecting Texas and the rest of the nation and the sovereignty. The border wall would help, obviously, but that's a 2-year, 3-year down the line type deal. Secured. We need something now. We can't wait 3 years. We won't be here. The state of Texas and the United States will not look the same in 3 years, I guarantee you.
And I take it from what you're saying, there are other ranchers, neighbors of yours, who are dealing with what you're dealing with.
Right. Just to give you an example, one rancher called me the other day. They were talking about at night they have to black out their windows in the house because if there's any light that shows from the outside at night, it attracts, the people coming through their property with illegal aliens or smugglers. They'll come to the house and knock on the door or try to get in. So they have to black out their windows at night so that won't occur. That's what we're living with down here. There's another mother who was home with her child by herself. They attempted to break in the door. She was inside the house waiting for law enforcement to arrive, and it took 20 minutes for them to do so. So it's that bad.
But they will knock on. Wait a minute. They will knock on the door and either force their way in or just ask you, "Can we come in?"
Both. There's circumstances with both. There's people that have to barricade the doors at night because literally they will knock down the door. Speaking of doors, America's front door is being kicked in right now. That's what's happening. They're not claiming asylum properly. They're not coming through the ports of entry.
Yeah.
This is a huge mess that we've got to deal with. It's urgent. It's an urgent crisis that we have to address.
And yours is a different situation we don't appreciate. I'm glad you shared it with us. Brent Smith, Texas rancher, Kinney County attorney as well. This is real. This is happening all the time, not in a border community, but borders those that are. So remember how far north this goes in the process.